I don't consider myself politically active in what I do, but I do consider myself a student of influence. And influence within new media and social media is definitely applicable to the world of politics. And I've done a lot of work in sort of researching how influence plays into things at, say, the politician level or at a organization or governmental level to understand the dynamics of how information travels, and then, if needed, how would one engage to sort of influence things in their favor. Yes and no, and yes, I can't say who I've worked with, but let's just say that I've worked in with one particular organization in the United States that is very large and probably doesn't get much larger than this, to understand not just the dynamics of influence, but let's just say we needed to get a temperature check of how people were feeling in terms of sentiment versus policies versus activities, and then how would we reverse engineer if we needed to steer those things in more favorable sentiment and also in greater volume. So for example, I guess it's a very complicated way of saying we can find the people we need to reach in order to win their sentiment over, and also to inspire certain actions and activities that affect, let's just say, the state of this particular organization. Well, it's changing, let's just say that, because I don't necessarily think that people, nor governments or politicians, understand the full promise and potential of new media. And that's something that we're all discovering. It is more powerful than we're giving it credit for. And if we look at the Obama campaign, which was highly lauded for its effectiveness using social media, really when you analyze it, and I wrote about this, when you analyze the techniques that they used, it really was more of broadcast, and they raised a lot of money as well. They used micro communications as macro financing systems, and that was very, obviously not just effective, but it also showed us, though, that one-way communication is still effective using social technologies. However, because this is about user-generated governance, people do feel that there's a me in social media for the reason that they deserve to be heard. Therefore, there has to be some sort of recognition and reciprocity program put into anything whether that's political or just any good communication strategy. But I believe that, let's just say, any body or any politician has a lot to learn first before they start participating, because that information is there and it's valuable. So in many ways that we take, say, approval ratings for the presidency, or we take sort of temperature checks on the popularity of a potential law before it goes into effect, we can also get the activity and the insights and the conversations that are fueling that sort of sentiment in real time. And that's not necessarily anything we've had the ability to tap into, not at this extent.
Do you think it will happen in the next elections, in the House elections?
I hope so. Yeah. I absolutely hope so, but it takes a cognitive process to first realize that this is something we could tap into. This is a collective consciousness. It's in the cloud. All we have to do is tap into it and know how to search it. So politicians, or anyone really, have to first understand that it's there, that they have to first believe that they have something to learn from it, but then more importantly, this is an era of open leadership, meaning that they have to then be open to the idea of change and then also earning relevance. Because earning relevance by campaigning in real life is one thing, but you still have to sort of take that to online, and it has to be much more meaningful. It can't just be lip service. People are expecting to be heard, to be recognized, and then in turn responded to. And that's not necessarily something that politicians or governments in general have been very good at. So it requires almost a new infrastructure to support it.